Coming up this week on the show, we welcome Chris Fisher from Jupiter Broadcasting to talk about the CES show 2014. We give our thoughts and predictions about what we're going to see at the show this year, and also share with you what we're going to do. All that and more coming up this week. Geek Gamer Weekly is brought to you by our very own Roku app for Geek Gamer TV. You can go back and watch the back catalog of Geek Gamer Weekly, Minecraft Me, our specials from PAX Prime, E3, and soon-to-be CES 2014. To grab that app today, go to ggtv.me/Roku. This is Geek Gamer Weekly, episode 253, recorded Sunday, January 4th, 2014, the CES 2014 preview show. Hi, everybody. Welcome again to another edition of Geek Gamer Weekly. This is the Uber podcast for geeks and gamers. This is our CES 2014 special. We'll talk about some of the announcements that have just recently come out ahead of the CES show. We'll talk about what we're going to be doing at the show and other random off-the-wall topics. My name is Chase Nunes. Joining me this week is this gentleman right over here, blocking the awful glare.
Sorry.
I look like the dirty end of a microphone.
Yeah, that was. We're looking up the skirt. How you doing, John?
Yes.
John?
What?
How are you?
Just ducky.
Very good. Thanks for making it today.
Eventually.
Joining us as well, we'll be seeing this gentleman tomorrow, Joseph Falby. Hey, Joe, how are you, sir?
Good.
And what are you printing back there for people to know, because they see it's all lit up today?
Yeah, well, I got some different, a different kind of plastic in, so I'm giving that a try. But this is just a like a pencil cup type of thing.
Oh, cool.
Something simple, just to test it with.
Cool. We also have a special guest here in the studio. We don't have usually extra people in the studio. I do have an extra spot, so if you do live in the local area, you're more welcome to drop on by. But the Chief Executive Officer, I can't speak today, Officer of Jupiter Broadcasting, and co-host of the Unfiltered Show, and co-host, I'm not the co-host, but he's also a co-host of Linux Action Show, Faux Show, what else am I, SciByte,
TechSnap,
Coda Radio. What else? Oh, the Plan B Contraception Show.
Did you mention Unfiltered?
I did Unfiltered.
Okay.
That was the top one, first one.
You made a mistake, though.
Well, I did.
I mean, they're going to have to fight me for the chair.
Oh?
I'm not planning to leave.
Oh, well, fair enough.
Yeah, so.
All right. Welcome, man.
Sounds like Chase has a new roommate.
Yeah. As long as you keep feeding me these Fantas, I'm here to stay.
Aren't those good?
I'm living off it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are sugar, real sugar, cane sugar.
This is perfect because, see, I started my morning with my first AeroPress coffee.
Right.
And that's what got me through the first part of the day. And then I'm riding the sugar train to get me through this part of the day. I'm ready to go.
And now it's time for the patented. This is patented, trademarked, copyrighted. Excuse me. Sorry. Wow. That was bad.
Well, that wasn't even me or Chris.
Chat room wants to know, Jay Huckabee wants to know, what show are you not a co-host of? I know, BSD now.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's very true.
I'm a winner. Here we go. Quad shot. Hi, everybody. Yay.
It's pretty exciting.
All right. What do you guys want to talk about first? The pre-announcements, or what do you guys are interested about for CES this year? I mean, for me, it's all about the experience, heading down there. I haven't been to CES in probably 12 years. I went a long time ago. And at my old job, January was always a blackout month for me, so I couldn't go. So this is the first time going in a very, very long time. Have you guys ever been to CES at all?
No.
Before?
I don't like people.
Chris?
No.
You do a show for people, but you don't
I like talking
people.
At people, right? I don't like people, right? I'll talk to them.
Right.
But it is not really in my makeup to want to go to a convention like this. But I'm glad guys like you are going because I'm curious as to what's going to happen and what trends are going to be set and what you can suss out for what the rest of 2014 is going to look like. That's kind of what I like about it.
Yeah.
But I've never once ever wanted to go. Ever.
Never?
Well, first of all, it's so well covered.
True.
So I feel like I can get the meat of the experience from right here.
And that leads that's a great segue to this ultimate question. Why are we going? I mean, if everybody's covering it so well, like, Engadget, and are there other websites? Verge.
Well, somebody's got to do it.
Right. But we're not going there to cover the big stories. I mean, sure. I mean, we'll learn about them like everybody else will, but I mean, Joe, what is our goal for CES this year? I mean, we kind of talked about it last week out in our little meeting and stuff, and we kind of mapped out who we want to see. But what are we trying to accomplish in going?
Well, CES is I mean, it was kind of like when we went to E3 a couple of years ago. There's a few really big companies who have really big booths and really big presences and show off really big things, and everybody hears about them and they're amazing and fantastic, and everybody gets all excited and giddy. But then there's also like 8 times more little tiny companies who are just trying to get their foot in the door, want to get a little bit of attention, and have some really cool and interesting products that are coming out. Yeah. And those are the ones we want to see. Yeah. Everybody knows that Dell is coming out with a new line of PCs, and that Xbox has a new platform and new stuff in that, and that Steam has Valve has the Steam boxes and all of the makers for those, and everybody knows about those things. What nobody knows about is that little guy in his own little booth off in the corner who's doing something really innovative, and some kind of new control system for a computer, whatever. And we want to see those. Those are the things that are really, really cool. Wow.
Not even his printer. That was just... Sorry, I was making a Pop-Tart over here.
Now, that being said, we kind of mapped out last week in our post-show some of the things that we intend on going to see and talking with. I know, John, you've really... And then we saw this at PAX, and you've actually shown me this video of the blue marble for Oculus, right? And you've been really, really pushing that. You want to see that in at the show, huh?
Well, I mean, if I'm Oculus is going to be down there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what they bring. What new or what do they bring into CES that we haven't seen yet?
Right, something new, something fresh.
New.
Right.
I think you're going to see Oculus responses. Right, you're going to see a lot of Oculus competitors like Prio VR. Has a full body mocap suit, which is promising to do like Oculus Rift that monitors your entire body, and they're going to be demoing at CES this year. And I think so. You're going to see people who, for the last couple of years, have been watching Oculus Rift and be like, "Well, we can do that," and now this is their response, and they're already courting the press to say, "Hey, come over to our booth and look. We'll work with consoles. That's going to be their selling point." And the whole thing is. You put yourself in a virtual reality, and you have this whole motion tracking, right? So you can, if you move an arm, the avatar in the game will move the arm too.
Is wearable tech, you guys think, is going to be a big deal? Because I mean, we're going to hear a lot about TVs, 4K, ultra high definition. Best Buy, my local Best Buy, has a demonstration TV setup for it, and it looks phenomenal. It really looks
Best
great.
Buy's got 4K?
They got a 4K TV setup. They got a Sharp
cool.
TV setup.
Oh, I'd like to see that.
And it's beautiful. It really is gorgeous. But obviously, how are you going to get the content to it? And I know we're going to hear announcements about that too, right? Google's already said.
There's already been some announcements about that.
Yeah.
House of Cards Season 2.
YouTube. I was going to say Netflix has said that they're going to start streaming some of their content, especially their own produced content, in 4K.
Mm-hmm. And they shot Season 1 in 4K already. So they've already got some stuff ready to go.
The only problem with that is if you got an ISP that decides not to update their infrastructure, how are you even going to get it?
Like you and I right now.
Right.
We have awesome connections to our house, but at the central office, they're having horrible routing issues.
Terrible routing issues.
Yeah. And it's just killing everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a problem. And that's why I think, for me, 4K isn't real until I can download something off Usenet and watch it on my display without having to go through a service.
Yeah.
But just like
I'm
3D
sure you can
was
do
big.
that now. Just don't announce that you're doing it.
Right. Don't talk about it. First rule of Usenet is not to talk about it.
Yeah, don't talk about it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I don't know what you're talking about.
no,
Isn't that old pre-web thing that doesn't exist on the internet anymore? Like
nobody needs to worry about it all.
Dogpile?
Nobody needs to worry
something?
about it. Don't pay it.
Yeah.
Pay it no attention. But back to your wearables question. I mean, obviously, you've already got some movement from some people. Out
Well,
there,
Google had the big head start, right? So Google went and jumped in with Google Glass.
I was thinking Galaxy Gear because Google Glass is like this elitist. Only glass holes can get it. But
Well, no, if you wanna
anybody can
talk
buy
about-
it.
Yeah, but the start of wearable tech, though, you really have to go back to some of the old smartwatches. Remember, there was the MSN connected smartwatch. There was that line that you had to hold in front of your monitor so that it would program.
What's
going to
be
screen?
What's going to be big are these Fitbits, right? I think you're going to see a lot of Fitbit competitors this year because this product is really usable. It's there, and so if you could just iterate on this and make this, I think that's low hanging fruit for 2014.
Get it better? How would you make that even better, though?
Well, one thing you could definitely improve upon is the screen size, right? So if I hit the thing here, it's kind of small.
Well, didn't they do that though for conserve on battery life?
Sure.
Yeah,
but that's one of the things you got to work on. And it'd be nice too if the screen was bigger. Then the second thing you want to start doing is show me my text messages, right? Those kinds of things. Have it interoperate more with the phone, and maybe that's gonna be
well. But then before too long, you have this.
Yeah.
The Pebble. Yeah,
The Pebble.
Yeah, exactly.
It's nobody's using it for anything that I know of, but it has an accelerometer built into it, which meets the requirements and most of the stuff the Fitbit does. It has Bluetooth connectivity to your phone, so you get your text messages on it, you get your phone calls on it. It has a much bigger display. And one thing I like about this over some of the other smartwatches, the Galaxy Gear, which I don't think is really a smartwatch, and the Fitbit is you can change the band. Obviously, I have a metal band on this, not the cheap rubber one.
I wonder though, if the Pebble Watch guys don't show up with something new, their next version, I think they're going to kind of be the losers in a sense of CES because I think a lot of companies are going to have a Pebble this year, it's not going to be that hard for them to improve upon. It's a pretty good device, but there's areas they're going to be able to improve upon, and there's going to be companies that have bigger budgets than Pebble does that can just.
Well, the thing about the Pebble, I think that they've done right. They have made some pretty big mistakes, I think, too. But one thing they've done right is they've established it as sort of a platform, and kind of like smartphones did, where they've gradually increased the ability for people to do their own thing with it, do their own apps and controls and stuff like that. I think as they increase that, as they allow for that, I think they'll get a lot better support. But yeah, you're right on the other case too. It's a black and white screen. The backlight is limited. The battery life, while it's way better than the Galaxy Gear, it's only about 4 or 5 days, depending on how much you use it.
Wow,
what's wrong with these? Look at these beautiful Galaxy Gears, Joe.
But like Joe just said, they're like 6-hour battery lives.
Yeah, I know.
It's like an 8 to 10 hour battery best case.
Yeah,
and in practice,
the display is the display is beautiful, but again, we talked about this last week. Samsung released that phone with a curved screen. Why didn't they put the curved screen on that? It would have been a way better place for it.
Yeah.
So I don't think the Galaxy Gear is really a contender. It only works on 3 to 4 devices now. It's like the S4, the Note, and I think one other Samsung phone. They all have to be Samsung phones. So I don't think it's really a contender. I think the Pebble and that sort of device will do a lot better. I know that. I know it's kind of hard. I hate to say it this way because it'll make me sound like an Apple fanboy, but if Apple releases a smartwatch in the next year, it will make a huge splash and make a giant difference. Not necessarily because the tech will be so much more advanced, but because it's how visible Apple's products tend to be and how much they do actually drive the rest of the market.
But they got to do it right, though, right? I mean, we've seen Pebble do it, and they've done it very, very well. They hit it out of the park. A lot of people are happy with.
Well, they did it well for geeks,
right?
They didn't do it very well for the everyday person. I think that's their failing, and that's what Apple excels at when they release products. Is they don't do something that obviously whenever a new Apple phone comes out, geeks and nerds are like, that's terrible. It's awful. You can't do this with it. You can't do that with it. You can't whatever. Go back and use your old Nokia Linux-based phone if you really want to do all that. But they make a product that appeals to a lot of people, just a super wide base, and they make a product that's really accessible to those people. I think about how many like my mom has an iPhone and she loves it and uses it as conversely she can use an iPad. And somebody who's used to that environment, they should be able to move to whatever Apple's watch device.
You know what would really do it for
relatively
me
easily.
in an iWatch kind of setup would be, and I almost think Apple could do it too. Like if you look at the AV adapter for the Lightning port, that adapter actually has an ARM system on a chip in the adapter. Like if you want to see a tiny microcomputer, the freaking Lightning adapter for AV actually has a little tiny iOS device in it. And that's incredible. And if they could do that on a watch, and if they could, the next step would be if you could have Wi-Fi in there. And Wi-Fi chips are getting crazy small and low power. I would love if this device itself could get direct updates from iCloud and didn't have to be tethered to my phone using my phone's battery and my phone's connection and draining my phone at the same time. Because that's another problem with the Galaxy Gear is not only does the Galaxy Gear have a 6 to 8 battery life, but then it's also a constant drain on your actual phone too. So both devices have, crappy battery lives as a result. I would love to see the device be able to pull data itself directly from the web.
I know what you're saying, and I agree because the Pebble, of course, is Bluetooth connected. It has to be connected to your phone for a lot of the stuff that it does, text messaging, stuff like that. However, now with the new firmware that came out, they actually enabled low energy mode, Bluetooth LE.
Nice, yeah. Apple would use that, yeah.
And it went from a not significant but noticeable difference in battery life on my actual phone to I don't even notice it anymore.
Nice.
It makes no difference. So I think that alleviates a lot of those concerns. But you're right, Wi-Fi on the device would be sweet. Be able to walk around without having to worry about having your phone on you.
Yeah.
Walk around your house and be able to get
and maybe when I leave the house,
iMessages
switch over to Bluetooth low energy then.
Automatically connect to your phone when the phone's available.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that.
So there's a lot of tech they could do with it, and hopefully we'll see some of that. I know we'll see. There's a whole section dedicated in I think it's called Tech Watch at CES that's just dedicated to wearable computing, and it's not just watches, it's not just headgear. Although there's like 4 companies besides Google that are going to be there demoing glasses, that sort of tech. But there's also going to be some more wearable stuff like the Fitbit you're talking about, and then there was somebody who had one. That actually it was like an armband that went up high and it actually measured your muscle movement.
Wow.
Which I thought was kind of an interesting deal. I remember seeing a preview for that on one of the tech websites. So there's going to be some wearable tech there to check out, and it won't just be from the big carriers. It'll be from a lot of people.
They're going to come out with devices like that you'll just attach to, and they'll detect if you're lying or not. they'll read the sweat coming off your skin, the heat of your temperature, and they're like, instant lie detector.
There's a really good point though about that is an awesome article I read pointed out that a lie detector is not the machine. A lie detector is the person doing the test,
interpreting the readings.
Yeah,
that the machine itself can detect physiological changes, but how the person running the test asks the question will have a bigger effect than what that machine says.
So, talking about 4K, I think the company to watch will be Sony. I expect
Sony's always had the most beautiful panels there is.
And I think they're going to demo a delivery system for, I don't know if they're going to call it UHD or 4K, whatever they're going to call it, but I think Sony will have some sort of scenario at a booth, and you'll be able to see, here is 4K being delivered over a crappy internet connection, and they'll simulate some home connection or some Wi-Fi connection.
This poor soul who has 35 megabit fiber connection.
But I think what they're gonna have is some sort of whiz-bang demo. You'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're delivering 4K over these conditions. And then everybody will be talking about, well, Sony demonstrated delivering 4K over XYZ conditions, and that'll be a big buzz. And of course, who really knows if it'll be real because they controlled the conditions. But I think at the end of CES we'll walk away, and the part of how are we going to deliver 4K, there'll at least be some really solid theories on how they're going to pull that off.
What is a better name to call this next generation of television or monitor viewing? 4K.
I like 4K.
UHD.
I don't like UHD.
4K.
Yeah, because like with HD, it was blurry because is 720p HD or is 1080p HD, right? Is 720i
This
HD?
is just going to be one standard.
4K refers to the actual resolution size, right? So 4K is this size of picture.
Well, you got to be careful about that because we've seen companies do it all the time. Even AT&T does it with 4G.
Well, this is why I don't like HD.
4G.
This is why I don't like UHD because it lets them fudge the number. But 4K actually is in reference to the screen size, the actual screen resolution.
Well,
It's
but
IMAX.
there's a couple different...
Well, you're right, yeah.
The problem, though, is there's still a couple different 4K standards. There's 4K UHD TV, which is 3840 by 2160, which is a set That's what it is. There's also 4K ultra wide, which is 5136 by 2160. So
Well,
it's
I
a
want
much
that.
wider image.
I want that.
So, yeah, 21 by 9 versus 16 by 9. I don't know. You'll be able to
Well,
watch
one
a
cinema,
bunch of movies
this
on it, but
one's
no other
no
TV.
letterboxing, I guess.
You know the other thing we need?
Yeah, the 21 by 9 would be movie
Yeah,
style
that-
widescreen.
yeah.
And the other one is 16 by 9, which is now modern TV widescreen.
Obviously, we need the TV set, but the other component of this we're going to need, and I hope they'll have a device there to demo, is we need a Roku box that's 4K compatible. Because you got to have something that can display that Netflix content.
Now, can HDMI support that standard, or we're going to have to come up with another standard?
Well, I think you got to have like the
new
Yeah.
HDMI
Yeah.
can.
yes.
The most recent version
Okay.
of HDMI can support that.
Yeah, it's
but
like-
not. I mean, there's probably not a handful of devices out there that actually use that.
yeah
the
HDMI
bigger one, of course,
1.4 has it.
The bigger one, of course, is DisplayPort. DisplayPort supports it natively, and that's what it was designed around.
True. You know, another big piece of technology that really has me excited, and Joe likes to make fun of me about, is connected devices in the home. LG has plans this year to introduce a washer, vacuum cleaner, oven, and refrigerator that can be controlled through their apps. Samsung also has plans to allow developers to create smart TV apps
There it is.
that can control lights, AC units, fridges, and other home appliances.
I so got you beat on that. I so have you beat on that.
But I think that's so cool. I want all my
so
devices
I like
talking to each
the
other.
I like the home automation in terms of lighting part, but I think the network attached appliances are ridiculous. And one of the ones, my favorite one, this one that came out is, you'll never believe who's making it. They're making a Wi-Fi connected or a Wemo connected crock pot.
Oh, I already know who this is, so I can't say. I already know.
Okay.
I can't mention it, but I'm gonna let Chris or John guess.
Yeah.
I can't.
So somebody's
Who's
making
big? Who do you think of as being big in the crock pot?
Huge.
Crock
Huge.
pot market?
I don't know the crock. I
Yeah.
can't name it.
AMD.
I can't remember
No,
the name.
it's not AMD.
No, I can't. I'm blanking on the name. I'm sure I probably have
It starts
one.
with the letter B.
Starts with a B.
B.
Bosch.
Letter B. No, Bosch. No.
Bosch.
Hey, I used to own a Bosch coffee pot. So
Yeah,
they
this
make
is
they
a
made
crock
coffee
pot for
pots?
your
Yes.
house, not for your car.
Is it the Bed Bath and Beyond brand?
No.
no,
I kid.
no, you'll
I
never
kid.
believe it. You'll never believe it.
Steve McMinecraft, Anthony Sullivan. That's the infomercial
Yeah,
guy.
Anthony Sullivan.
Hi,
It's,
Anthony
Best
Sullivan
Buy.
here for
It's
the
it's actually,
Belkin.
it's actually Belkin making this
Belkin.
thing, and they're doing it for their Wemo standard.
I never would have got that.
which they're
Yeah.
pushing. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Come on, Belkin. I mean,
no, I
um,
never would have got that.
low-end wireless gear, Belkin. Crockpot, not so much.
Yeah.
Well, they're also making a
Hopefully it doesn't work as well.
yeah. Here it is. It's front page. No, it's not front page on The Verge, but here it is. Belkin and Crockpot team up for the Smart Slow Cooker.
Here it is, you guys.
There
the
it is.
glory of CES.
Yeah, there it is. There's the there's. I can't believe this is true. I'm buying.
So there you
one.
go, Chase. There you go. It's only $100
Wow.
bucks. So if you want your first network attached appliance on the cheap, there it is, Chase, right there.
Here's the funny thing, Joe. My wife wants.
You're gonna pick one up?
My wife's gonna want that. She's gonna want
Yeah.
that. Like she's making stew. This is a smart thing. This is a smart idea. Because the number one thing that a lot of people have worried about when they're cooking, right? They're doing slow.
Yeah.
I can't believe we're talking about this. That we're doing slow
Yeah.
cooking is you don't want to burn what you're making over that. And if you can remotely
Wait,
turn it
hold
off.
on. If you're burning something in the crock pot,
No. Like
Yeah,
you
if
left
you're
it on.
burning on your slow cooker, I
You're
just want to
doing
point that out.
something wrong,
Your
I'm just
slow
saying.
cooker. Yeah,
Hey,
you're
even I
using
make a
it
decent
wrong.
meal with the slow cooker.
burning the crock
I
pot.
mean, a slow cooker is something that you put something in. You put food in the morning, right before you go to work, and when you get back from work, it's cooked.
It's
That's
magic.
done.
It's so amazing. I
Yeah.
love it so much.
and then like 2 days later, it's still
Still-
warm and edible.
And you can dump more
Mostly.
water in there and chop up more,
Yeah,
add more to it, and,
Yeah.
and you can stretch that thing for a week.
right.
And in other
you
news,
start out with a roast and you end with a stew at the end of the week.
Yeah.
totally.
Chris, in other news, the FBI drops law enforcement from its mission statement. All right, let's go.
Oh, that's comforting. You know what else? Speaking
so what
of
do they do
FBI,
now?
drones, right? The like no recreational drones and
that's-
stuff like that. It's gonna be big at CES.
Yeah, like quadcopters and things like that.
With cameras.
Oh, Joe.
Yeah,
Have you
Yeah.
seen anything about that? Because I know you follow that quite closely.
I haven't seen anything about it on CES. Mostly the stuff that I follow are mostly hobbyist gear, not like the big maker that everybody knows or a lot of people know is DJI, and they make a line of products that are all ready for camera mounts. But actually, cut off me for just a minute. I'll show you my tricopter.
Bow chicka wow,
okay.
wow.
Wow.
Have you seen there's a Kickstarter right now for a ball that you throw up in the air, and then as it reaches like the apex of its climb, it's got cameras all around it, and it takes a 360-degree picture, and then
Oh,
drops.
that's nice. So if you want to spy into your neighbor's yard,
You could, yeah.
you would be able to very easily.
Yeah. So, I
So
mean,
what if you just took a camera like a GoPro and put it on a balloon? I mean, you could just do that.
well, this thing's cool because it gives you good spherical,
What do you got there, Joe?
Yeah, so this isn't completed. It's still missing the controller and some other stuff. But this is my tricopter.
Whoa, that's
One
big.
of them.
That's big.
That's
So
what she
yeah,
said.
it's
What?
pretty good sized.
Yeah, that's actually really good sized. Really. And how much weight can it hold?
Well, the battery that goes with it is pretty heavy, but according to calculations on everything, it should be able to carry. I want to say it can easily carry a few hundred grams, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's more than enough for my intended purpose, which is
Running
putting a GoPro with a transmitter on it.
Oh.
Uh,
A bag of
so
weight.
I mean, that's really all I need to be able to carry. It's not like I want to drag it around, fly it around. But it's a tricopter, which means that it's a little bit more battery efficient. So it should actually run longer than a 6 or a hexcopter.
I kind of feel
a hexcopter or an octocopter.
I kind of feel like 2014 is gonna be a good year for personal drones. You know, it's like
Well, that's sort of the weird catch-22 with drone type aircraft, with these FPV flyers, is they're legal for a private person to use for non-commercial use. So I can build this, I can fly it, I can do whatever I want with it, and it's perfectly fine. Nothing illegal about it outside of in most states. There's a couple states that have outlawed them. However, the FAA very clearly says if you're using it for commercial purposes, that's not allowed without a special allowance from the FAA. And there's only 2 aircraft in the United States that are allowed to do it commercially. So even when Amazon did their Amazon Prime Air thing,
commercial. Yeah.
they actually filmed that out of U.S. because they were not allowed to do that in the U.S.
Yeah, they're commercial.
So there's a few drones that we may see at CES this year.
That one right there is a DJI Phantom. That's one of the big carriers, and
Are they going to fly?
they don't officially support FPV. There are kits to add FPV to it. But you can see that's a GoPro mounted to a 2-axis
that thing
gimbal on
looks
the bottom
awesome.
to keep it flat.
They
They have some reliability problems.
There's something called also the Unique Flying Eyes HX3 that we might see.
I don't know
more.
what that is. That sounds like a
$3,000. Also the Parrot AR drone. They've been doing it for a while, right? So.
That's a big one. That's basically a glorified toy. You control it with your cell phone, a smartphone, or like you control it with an NVIDIA Shield or that sort of device. Any Android or iOS device can fly a Parrot AR drone. But there's a pretty big delay in controls, and the video is not very fast because it's going over Wi-Fi. Plus, the range is really limited.
Now, Joe, I want to hear from you about this because I know you have one of these. You showed it to me on our trip to Minecon. NVIDIA is going to have a big booth at the show because they're going to be showing off some gaming innovations. One of the big things that they're going to be continuing pushing is their device called, I'm drawing a blank, the NVIDIA Shield.
The Shield.
And
which I just mentioned. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was shielded by the comments.
So there is going to be a press event. However, we're not there today, and we haven't heard any responses out of that press event yet. But Joe, is this the big future of gaming for NVIDIA? Is this portability stuff? Because obviously they're still trying to push the ability for you to game anywhere you want and stream content to your handheld device like that.
Right. Well, there's 2 things. Well, there's really 3 things the Shield gives you. One is you can stream content from the NVIDIA Grid, which is sort of like the
online
reinvention of OnLive. Yeah. And I've tried a couple games on it. It's pretty cool. The coolest thing about it right now is it's free.
Oh, they're doing
Which is,
I've just been
awesome.
told. I misread this. I thought they did this at 8 Eastern time. They're doing it at 8 Pacific time. They'll be live in 20 minings.
Well.
Oh, maybe we can catch something.
But the Shield is really good for that, for streaming those NVIDIA Grid games. And like I said, right now it's free.
We'll be off the air in 20
The other thing
minutes.
it's pretty good for is
Ding.
We're done.
the other thing that
We're
it's,
done in
it's
20.
pretty good for is streaming games from your PC if you're on the same Wi-Fi network.
Huh. Yeah.
It actually works really well with Steam's big picture mode. Just works. I was surprised. It's like running it on your TV. And then along with that, you can plug it into the TV. The other thing it brings you, of course, is you can play almost any Android game on it. And there's a lot of Android games that are adding support for the Shield, kind of like the Moga controllers we saw at PAX. And I think that's a cool aspect. I actually have loaded mine up with an N64 emulator
Now you're talking.
and have downloaded some ROMs for games that I own. I want to be clear on that.
Yes.
I own the cartridges for the games that I downloaded the ROMs for.
Yes.
I really do.
Yes,
Like
I know.
Conquest
I
Bad
believe
Fur
you.
Day, Majora's Mask,
Yeah.
and Zelda, Ocarina of Time. Anyway, so I really do own those cartridges somewhere. Don't ask me to find them, but I have them.
You're digging a bigger hole
And,
for yourself. Just stop, man. Just
No,
go.
I really do. I really do.
It's good,
own
Joe.
them. I
Okay,
have
Joe.
them.
We
So
believe you,
anyway,
Joe.
Anyway, so
Joe, everybody believes you. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go.
So anyway, but I think that's a really good use for it, and you can do the same thing with if you want to play Genesis games, if you want to play original NES games or SNES games on it, you can do that on the Shield, and I think it works really well for that because you have a controller in the other. However, honestly, when it comes to first-person titles, this is a better platform.
DS.
I
DS.
love the 3DS so much more, and I play this more often than I do the Shield. I think it's a great little device, and I
Totally
think the
agree.
Shield is fun. I like it. It's good for what it does. But if you're looking for some really, really nice content and worthwhile titles, 3DS is where it's at.
So I think so far we've kind of buried the lead, and at least for me, in a sense. And Joe just mentioned there for a second is Steam and Steam boxes.
I was just getting. I mean, I had it at the ready. It's like you could read my screen.
And now we know. Today we've got the announcements. We've got OEMs for the Steam box on board: Alienware, Falcon Northwest, iBuyPower, Cyber Power PC, Origin PC, Gigabyte,
Wait, Origin on Steam?
Origin PC.
Oh,
no,
okay.
Origin PC
All
is,
right,
is a maker.
Well, that was
and
confusing.
and a
Sorry.
handful of others. But the thing that's interesting about this is I wonder if NVIDIA is using the Shield streaming technology to accomplish the SteamOS streaming that they have built into SteamOS, because they've been working super closely with NVIDIA on the Linux underpinning side. And the way they've described SteamOS game streaming sounds exactly like the NVIDIA
Wow.
streaming stuff. So that'd be interesting to see.
So
I'd like to
obviously,
see a demo of that at CES.
with all these different partners, we're probably going to see a range of different systems, different Steam boxes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going to all have the same price point.
No, I think some will have like embedded graphics, like Intel graphics, and some will have
Well, like
full-on
like
GTXs.
Alienware is a good example. Alienware will have a $600 machine for $8,000. Falcon Northwest will have a $4,000 machine for 12. I mean, they're all going to be.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be overpriced. I think
Yeah.
the real future here, or the cool thing for us at least about it, is they're making Steam a relatively open platform, so we'll be able to build our own Steam boxes going forward.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing too, I want to see who is going to make the best machines sub $500-$600.
I'm going to
That's
be on
what
Gigabyte.
That's what I want to see because
Yourself.
Actually, I think iBuyPower has a decent chance.
Yeah, I buy power too.
because if they can do it, then they can directly compete with the big console makers out there. Xbox, PS4, all that, and Wii.
Yeah.
If they can come in at a solid price point, then you have a great argument because then you can play a great library of games.
So there's
better
a
than any of
connected
them.
story on this because iBuyPower actually announced their Steam box a couple months ago now, back in November. And they said, "Look, this is a Steam box. We're building the first one, and here it is."
Mm-hmm.
And they packed an AMD R9 270, which is an okay card. It's not top of the line, obviously. It's not a 780 or a 290X or anything like that, but it's a good card. And an AMD CPU, multi-core AMD CPU, because all the AMD CPUs are multi-core, and Steam's one of the Steam's controller all together for $500 is what they said the release price is going to be.
Nice.
So that seems appealing to me.
Yeah. And no,
of course, the downside for people who don't already have a desktop gaming PC is they can't stream their games from nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So hopefully we'll see more developers. Steam is such a big platform. We'll see more developers push SteamOS versions of their games.
I think
I think
you're going to
the only
see
problem
too,
is not having DirectX on it. A
well,
lot of developers rely on it so much.
Here's the thing, actually, is I think that's today's problem. I think the same time next year, that's not really going to be a big problem. I've been reading a lot of developers who are very critical of DirectX, and they feel like it reached a peak and it slowed down. And then the other pressure that's really big on for OpenGL is mobile gaming. If you want to make a game for Android or iOS or like the PlayStation, you're writing that sucker with OpenGL, and so that just makes it easier to move over the Steam box. And
I guess the other good thing too about OpenGL is it's open, right? It's an open standard. It's not you don't have to conform to Microsoft's licensing agreements. You don't have to.
And you're not
stuff.
You're not connected to a syncing chip. I mean, Windows 8 is not selling like crazy. If you want the latest versions of DirectX, eventually you have to end up at the later versions of Windows eventually. And I just don't know if that's a compelling case for a lot of people. And you look at, like, if I was Gigabyte and I had a brand of NVIDIA graphics cards, and obviously I have motherboards, I'm already two of the most major components that would go in a Steam box. I make those already. So it's kind of a brilliant move for a company like Gigabyte to get in there, and maybe they can bring down some of those margins since they're already manufacturing the video cards and the motherboards. Maybe.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about, and we did kind of touch on this at the top of the show, and who we're going to talk with, and some of the smaller known companies, but basically our game plan of covering CES this week, because we're just a crew of three. It's myself, Joe, and John. We're heading down there tomorrow, and we're going to start doing taping from the show floor on Tuesday. Now, none of the things that we're going to be doing will be live, except for our Minecraft Me CES it's going to be a kind of a hybrid kind of a show on Thursday, and we're going to find a place to broadcast from and have some fun. Now, that being said, we might do other little live things if we feel up to it. But Tuesday is going to be a really, really big day for us because obviously you got the opening of CES and then Showstoppers. Now, the reason why we're going to Showstoppers, which is not technically affiliated with CES, but what Showstoppers is all about is they bring the best of the best and they bring it together in one room, and we have a chance to check it out. And so we're going to that, and then other than that, we're going to just have fun. We have a lot of suggestions for what we call CES detours, where we're going to be in Vegas, so we might as well take advantage of that fact and have some fun and have you guys peek in on our lives and experience that fun with us. So we'll do some tapings, we'll do some fun that are not necessarily CES related, but it'll be fun. It'll be definitely fun to do. Joe, I don't know if you know this, but my wife surprised me with this. She busted this out, and she's like, "Have fun." And I'm like, "You know how she is. Have fun." And that was
there. You go.
Have fun. And no, this is just the top of the box. I just
yeah, they just mount it in the plexiglass case like that. I don't know why, but they do.
But yeah, no, I'm definitely looking forward to messing around with that. And so as soon as I had that, I went down to the local Worst Buy, and sorry. Well, I wanted a mount quickly, and I picked up the suction cup mount so I can stick it on the car or whatever like that, the rental car that we have, and have some fun with it. So we got a lot of great things to do in Vegas, and CES is going to be a lot of fun. We didn't get any sponsors at all, and I'm going to be definitely open and honest with you guys about that. We are heading down there on our own dime to try to bring unique and niche coverage of the event. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. The plan, as far as getting the coverage out to you, I'm hoping that we'll be at CES probably until maybe 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then we'll go to the press room because we'll have media credentials and use its internet connection and get video up to our website. And so you guys can check that out immediately. I don't want to do footage all week and to bring it home. It's already a week old, and we might miss on that exposure. So
it's a good idea if you can.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a try. I don't know if it will work, but the thought in my head is good. Joe's very gracious enough to bring his awesome MacBook Pro. And so we'll have some juice there and getting some encodings done. The brilliant thing is these videos will be short.
True.
So
Yeah,
it's not like we're trying to upload the Jersey Jack. What was that? Like 35-minute pinball tour,
Right.
From
Yeah.
E3. Because talking about weird things that drop on your lap, right? So when we went to E3 a couple of years ago, this is our first time at E3. We're having a great time, and little birdie told me that, hey, Jersey Jack Pinball is showing off their brand new pinball machine at E3, and so no one was covering it. No one was covering it. So that video alone got like 5,000 views like in a day. But the thing is, we wanted to get it up so fast that the internet connection we were staying at was so slow. It took, I want to say it took 4 hours to upload. It was just brutal.
it was a long time.
We're just like, stop. But yeah, you know, and that's how the little guy makes a dent in this podcasting world, is by trying to get the niche things and the small things. So, by the way, it's not too late. If you guys want, you can follow us on Twitter at GeekGamerTV. And if you have things during the course of the show, because we're going to tweet out things, we're going to show pictures, we're going to have a really good time. But if there's something that you want us to cover for you and say, hey, I'd love it if you would find out some more stuff that's dealing with Linux. Because that's going to be some things that I'm going to be looking out for, companies that using Linux and open source in a unique and innovative way.
That's right. And then
I'll let you do it, Chris, because no one does it any better.
So you're getting back on Saturday.
We get back Saturday afternoon-ish.
And then to make sure you have no opportunity to rest, I'm going to have you on the Linux Action Show Sunday morning, bright and early, to sort of recap a lot of the cool Linux stuff you saw at the show, which is fun because we've always done an annual Best of Linux at CES for years now, but never had anybody that went.
Yeah.
So you'll be there. Yeah. That's going to be cool.
Yeah. Chris and I have this great symbiotic relationship where we do a lot of cross-pollination. I was
actually, you're going to show up here and we'll just do it. We'll just record it all and publish it from here.
There you go. Yeah, maybe we'll just pretend. I'll just pretend like I was there. Could you just take like a cutout of me and pretend like I'm putting?
I got Bill Clinton I can bring.
Okay, that works. Just put a beard on him. Just marker it in, and we're good to go.
You know, speaking of beards,
I got a lot of gray coming in. So
speaking of beards, I got to bring this up real quick.
Oh yeah, this was so funny, and it's still going on too. So you were on the faux show on Saturday.
What is the faux show? You should explain.
It's a social experience, Chase. It's not a real show
because we don't look at the camera.
Right.
We look at the chat room.
Yeah. And so one of the themes that's gone in and out of the faux show over the years is Minecraft, because my wife Angela's a big Minecraft fan.
Yeah.
And obviously you're a Minecraft fan.
Yep.
So she was doing a Minecraft episode, and it called to have, the right thing to do is have Chase on there.
Yeah.
And the number one comment we got.
let me jump to the YouTube page.
The number one comment we got is everybody looked at the still and they thought, oh God, Chris shaved his beard, and they all panicked. Everybody panicked about it.
So I'm just looking, scrolling down to Chase equals faux Chris.
Yeah, and look at that one, Chris. That scared the hell out of me. For a moment, I thought Chris Fisher had shaved his beard. Yeah, too funny. And then, so today I put out the Linux Action Show. One of the first comments on the Linux Action Show. Oh, phew, the beard's still there. So people are concerned about the facial hair.
Wow, I didn't see this comment. This was posted 13 hours ago. I'm not into the faux show personally.
Well, that's his first mistake, right?
Yeah. Terrible. But I had to watch because Chase is in it. Love that dude in a very bro-acceptable manner.
Nice.
Even though when I disagree with him, he can make me think. A lot of people, we do the Unfiltered show on Wednesdays. Not this Wednesday. There'll be a supporter show, but no full show until the next week. But I have my opinions, very strong opinions about things, and I get a little smack for it. But you know what? That's okay. It was very nice, Angela, having me on the show, Chris, because it showed people that I'm not just a political dude. I'm a geeky gamer type kind of a person.
There's a gamer in there.
So I want to say a big thanks to this gentleman right over here, coming all the way from Marysville. Oh wow, just down the street.
Yeah.
Literally like 4 turns and you're here.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's very
nice. And 67 is a great drive.
Yeah, especially once you get through that 4-way stop. It's 50.
Yeah. That's the best. That's the best drive in Marysville, right there. It is.
I know until they take it away.
What?
I don't.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought you knew something I didn't know.
I always go up past the chicken farm.
Yeah. And
50 down.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then take the left up the 9.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
But there you go. I could do that too. I pop up the 9 and then pop back down past Walmart. Anyway, we shouldn't talk about that.
No, that's probably not good podcasting.
Yeah, that's not.
No.
Yeah, we would never get nominated for an award. But Chris Fisher, you can follow him on the Twitters at Chris LAS. We'll have a link in the show notes, and please check out all the stuff he does over at Jupiter Broadcasting, another great podcasting network here in my local town.
Thank you, sir.
Joseph Falby, we'll see you tomorrow, my friend. Cannot wait for that. Should be a fun week, both at the show and in Vegas. Because, yes, we're in Vegas. 3 guys in Vegas.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? John Kessler made it here finally.
Unlike somebody else, it takes me more than 4 turns to get here.
Especially when you're stuck behind some jackass.
Yeah.
And if you guys want, please follow me on Twitter at Nunes, Nunes, and make sure you follow the network on Twitter at Geek Gamer TV. All the great CES content. I should have had this ready, but I didn't. All the great CES content will be posted on. Come on, here we go on this website right here. Geekgamer.tv. By the way, we just posted a great episode of Minecraft Me number 108. Where basically the whole episode was about puzzles. And
cool.
Our brains almost exploded live on the air. So that was a lot of fun. Just so you guys know, we will be right here next week at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 Eastern, for our CES 2014 wrap.
Wow.
So
Whip it.
there will be a show next week. We will be here, and it should be a lot of fun. So I really want to say a big thanks for all you guys who support us and do what we do. Thank you so much. For Mr. Joseph Falby, our special guest, Chris Fisher, John Kessler, my name is Chase Nunes. Until we all talk again, we're all silent. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Bruce Willis.